This is going to be a short open reading. We're using the Casanovas and the La Vida Sibila. No specific time frame, no specific zodiac sign, same sex or heterosexual. The first card is the Chariot. Presented itself while I was shuffling. The Knight of Wands. The Queen of Coins. The Seven of Wands. The King of Swords. The Page of Wands. The Five of Cups. The Lovers. And the Ace of Coins. Underneath the deck, I have the Four of Swords. There are two major arcana cards, the Lovers and the Chariot. There are four court cards, the King of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, Knight of Wands, and the Page of Wands. And then we have, those are pip cards, as well as the numbered cards of the Seven of Wands, Five of Cups, and the Ace of Coins. The overall energy of the spread is the Four of Swords. Right in the center, I have this King of Swords. This deck, the King of Swords represents power, command, charisma, authority, but it also, in its negative, represents someone who is tired of being in control. Everything else is happening around this particular king. It is an air sign, which would represent a Gemini, a Libra, or an Aquarius. If not that particular sign, those particular signs, then it's going to represent someone who has the qualities of the King of Swords. So this is someone who's going to be logical, rational, perhaps can be cutting or biting with their words, does not allow emotion to interfere with what they think and feel is right. They operate more from a mental plane than an emotional plane. The way the cards are read, past, present, future, with the interplay of the cards. The vertical past column, this is about somebody who is, I want to say, in denial, or is trying to run away and or avoid something. We have the Seven of Wands here, and the Seven represents an internal conflict, but there are also external forces that are at work here. The Seven of Wands represents a battle, a conflict, being conflicted about perhaps between your desires, because that's what the wands represent. The wands represent desires, ambition, motivation. So there is a conflict between what someone either desires and or is motivated to do, as opposed to what they feel they should do. The cups. The cups only represent, the five only represent emotions. I feel that in one respect, this card, the Five of Cups in this deck, does not represent a regret or a emotional adjustment. It speaks to sorrows about either around either doing something that perhaps you felt you should not do, or doing something that may have seemed a little, I don't know, circumspect, but enjoying it anyway. It can, I guess, in some aspects speak to regrets. That is not the imagery of the card. The imagery of the card is he's undressing this nun. Now, we know that he shouldn't be doing that, but at the same time, she shouldn't be allowing him to do that. So it's kind of, I think there's a conflict between either the way someone feels about something that they've done, or they are in denial about what they have done. They don't want to recognize it. They don't want to not necessarily take responsibility for it, but they're uncomfortable with it. That's the energy. Now, we see in the past that I think this Chariot with this Knight of Wands represents some kind of action of moving towards someone. The Knights always bring messages. However, this particular message, this Knight is a rather guarded Knight. He has very, very good intentions. He has high ideals. Why? Because he comes in defense of, the same with this Page of Wands. So this is, I think, someone who moved towards this Queen of Coins here, and this person would represent an earth sign, would be Taurus, Virgo, and or Capricorn. But if not those particular signs, would be someone who really doesn't have a whole lot of trouble with getting whatever they want. Okay. That could be either through their own perseverance and determination, or they themselves have the kind of power where it could even be a sexual power where they can affect people in a certain way and get what they want. The question becomes, do they do that from a good place, or do they do that from a bad place? Now, I feel that this particular queen is a-okay with what has happened. I think she is struggling herself with some new opportunity that's coming through. If not really a new opportunity, it's a change. That's really what the aces represent. It's a change in the energy. It's a new way of doing something, or it's a new way through. For some, this may play out as it could be a new financial opportunity, but basically it is just something new that is going to occur on the physical plane. This is what the coins represent. They represent the physical plane. I think this particular king, in one respect, is trying to maintain his control over this Seven of Wands, this conflict. But at the same time, because he is covered, his face is covered, I think he also wants to not take a look at what has occurred. We see the Page of Wands. This page also represents a change. It's literally like turning the page. So this could speak about a new desire and or a new ambition coming forward. In other words, he really can't change what has happened in the past. You see, he's still kind of guarded about that. Okay, see how he's faced to that? But as we know, nothing ever stays the same. It has to change. I do feel that this avoidance or this denial is, the message is that you can't change what has happened. So you need to accept it. And I do feel that this person is again, kind of conflicted between what they think they should be doing as opposed to what they truly desire to do. It's the Lovers, head over heart. Now, what's interesting about this particular Lovers card is that depending on how you look at this particular situation, we are looking from the back vantage point. So we can actually see what is happening. But if we were on the other side of the banister there, the balustrades, if we were down on the street and we walked by and we looked up, it would look like something that is innocent. Two people just hugging each other or showing affection for each other. But we're privy to the backstory here. We see exactly what's going on. So I feel in one respect, this could be about either someone in denial. Maybe there was some cheating that happened, or at least the thought of cheating. maybe this person actually engaged in an illicit relationship. There's definitely something else going on, but it also speaks to the appearances of. And I kind of sense that this king wants to remain, in terms of the way he is viewed. He wants to be viewed in a particular light. He doesn't really want to reveal what's going on behind the scenes. I do feel that that is going to change, however. But as it stands right now, the person themselves are at a standstill. They have, in effect, kind of closeted themselves away. This is about Casanova, who ends up going to jail. He goes to jail because some of the choices that he's made. But it also speaks to kind of like, it's vacillating between the darkness and the light. You see, he's sitting in the shadows, but here's this sunlight. Well, you know, he can either stay in the shade or he can get up and go stand in the sunlight. He's still kind of locked away in a prison, but it is a mental prison. Okay. And he got there through his own thoughts, beliefs, perceptions, and ideas. So I think this is speaking to someone who's thinking about how they got to where they are. How did they arrive at where they are now? And we can see that they've been trying to run away or to avoid having perhaps to look at that, but that it really, things are coming up. There are messages coming through. There are emotions that are coming up. I think this particular queen, this energy, she has sent out the message, maybe in one way, shape, or form, that not that she's moving on, but that it is time now to do something new. It is time now. I can see that between this queen and this king, there is some... I'm this 5, and this is a very, very important card because of where it falls. And it kind of reads like, I think she is okay with, the queen is okay with what has happened. And why do I say that? Because she allowed it to happen. Okay, we know they're not supposed to be doing this, but she's okay with that. And he himself enjoyed it as well. But we have this 7 attached to this. And the person is facing that. You see, she's more focused on whatever it is she's doing. Okay? You can take that for what it's worth. I don't sense that this is a flippant attitude. I just think it is the acceptance, because it represents the physical plane of that's just the way it is. And if I can't change the situation, then I can change what I do about the situation. Okay? Or if I can't change the past. So what I need to do is go ahead and work on something else or do something else. This is not to say that the person does not, this queen herself may not have some kind of regrets, but she is, I think, more grounded in the realities of the situation. It's odd because I don't see really anything, and what's interesting is that the story of the Chariot card is that there was a lady who was supposed to get married. She was engaged to get married, but she didn't want to marry the guy. And so she ran off, and she ran into Casanova, and Casanova offered to give her a ride. Well, everybody thought that he absconded with her, that he, in effect, kind of eloped with her. This was the story, that there was an elopement and he planned it. But that's not really how the story was. It was really that this particular person wanted to do something different, and he just kind of came along perhaps at the right time, maybe the wrong time, depending, and offered his assistance, give or take. Sometimes you have to be, maybe the Seven of Wands is the conflict of him having done that. Okay. Maybe there's some regret that he just opened himself up, because in doing what he did, he opened himself up to gossip and derision and things of that nature. And so maybe he's a little bit conflicted in the sense that, you know, I really shouldn't have done that. Okay. And sometimes that can happen when we make, sometimes we make decisions and we don't necessarily give any thought to how things are going to play out after the fact. What is puzzling to me is the this row. The Chariot, the King of Swords, and then the Queen, the Pentacles. I think this situation will be changing. Now, how will it change? I don't know. But I see someone moving from perhaps feeling a little guilty is the word, but it's like a guilty pleasure. Okay, it's not that kind of guilt where we really, I want to look at this Five of Cups. Just give me 1 second, because it's trying to tell me something sitting next to this Lover's card. Yes, exactly. It's denial of previous choices. That's exactly what I was saying. Retracing one's steps and the awareness of a mistake. But the question is, I think the person is conflicted and wondering if what they did was a mistake, or if they're not doing anything about it now, is that a mistake? I think that's what the conflict is all about. And this is why I think the King has his back towards this Knight of Wands. He's still in the energy of denial. But I think he's getting tired of putting up that pretense. Okay? I think he's getting very tired of that. All right, let's pull cards on this. It doesn't look like I don't sense that this is about cheating. I sense that, you know, there's something else. I think he's also worried that this particular queen, that there's someone else there. The Seven of Wands to the... I sense that he feels that maybe the time may have passed, or he's worried that the time may pass for him to make a redo or start over. I think that he feels that there's going to be someone, and that's, I think, why the Lovers has come up, that he thinks that there might be somebody else already on the picture, and that he might have to do battle with that person, and he's trying to make the determination of whether or not he wants to do that. I think in one respect he really does want to get in there and fight, to not to prove, but to show or to pass on the message. You know, hey, look, it was a mistake. It was stupid. Yeah, and I really do, you know, care about you. But I don't think he's reached that point yet. Let's, I think he's trying to deny it, as if to brush it off and say, you know what, it really doesn't even matter. But it's the denial, retracing the steps. Someone is thinking about that. And maybe this Lover's card is not necessarily the fantasy, but the vision that the person has. I cannot, these three trefoils over the arches, they speak to, they harken back to the three of coins in the Rider-Waite deck. The building, the two things coming together to make a third thing. but also the building of some firm foundations. I think it also has something to do with, again, I'm getting appearances. I'm getting, there's something to do with appearances here. Here we have this one woman who presents this chaste, pure, untainted kind of an energy, but who really is quite the opposite. But at the same time, there is, let me turn my back so that, and it's not done out of a protection. This is so that anybody passing by will not really know what we're doing. Not really, okay? That's what I'm picking up. So it's about appearances. But yet someone is completely masked and cloaked. They're not yet ready, I think, to reveal themselves. This chick, I don't think she cares. Not that she doesn't care. I think she is very, very comfortable in her own energy and her own sexuality. I think she's very comfortable in terms of who she is. You know, and that's a good energy if you can pull it off. You know, because everybody has their little things. Oh, I don't like the way that freckle on my butt cheek looks. You know, we all got little things. But I think that this person is really someone who is just comfortable in her own body, who she is. Now, let's pull. It's a very earthy energy. It looks like I've seen this spread before. It looks so familiar. I don't use Casanova very often, but I swear I've seen this, and it's like a deja vu. I'm looking, it's like I've seen this exact spread. The cards have come out in the exact same order. And I have 2 sevens here. I don't sense that this is really about false friends. That would be the traditional meaning of the 2 sevens, false friends. Let me double check that for you. There's something else going on with the 2 sevens here. And it's, again, it has to do with appearances. 2 sevens appearing in a spread together warn of false friends. And maybe it's the other way around. That maybe the king had a partner, and maybe one of his friends did the dirty with the person that he wanted, someone who was supposed to be untouchable. I don't know. It kind of doesn't read like that, but that could be a possibility. Let me go and give you the meaning of the other 2 sevens. Yes, and that's what I was saying. It reads more like this one. It's about self-confidence issues may cause instability in the relationship. That's why I kept picking up appearances. Okay? It's not what we think it is. And this is someone trying to deny whatever it is. They don't want to face the reality of what it really is. however that means. I want to pull cards on this Five of Cups here. That's what it was. Remember, I kept saying it didn't read like regrets and sorrow. I think, and remember I said that he's struggling with wondering whether or not he blew it in doing whatever it was he did, or now that he's in denial and he's not exactly sure what to do, maybe he's waiting, and that's kind of what I get. He's waiting, but what he's waiting for, I don't know. There's obviously something that is most definitely on his mind. Why? Because he's faced with the conflict. It's kind of like a damned if I do, damned if I don't kind of a feeling. Because the three cards are the Gran Signore, the Disgrazia, the Tower, the misfortunate, extreme misfortunate situation. It's the house is on fire. And then the Stanza, well, now I'm all alone. I'm all alone. This is the guy who's got his shit together, okay? He's the Lord of the Manor. He's the man of high society. Again, it kind of keeps coming back to appearances. But the person doesn't feel that way. Secretly, they're struggling with, perhaps it is simply their own self-perception that they're struggling with. Okay? I want to look at the Chariot. And then I'm going to look at, I don't know yet. Maybe it will come to me. A new woman, the Giovane Fanciulla. It's attraction to a young girl. Or we can say someone who's virginal. That kind of comes up again. Now, the true Latin meaning of the word virgin meant a free woman. There she is. There's that trip or that meeting. This is actually a trip. God, I met this person and purely going my own way. And I think that's now how the story about Casanova plays out with these three cards. Meeting someone while going your own way. And it is somebody who has touched you at a really makes your heart sing. But the person is in denial about that. Now again, same-sex or heterosexual, whomever's going to take the role of the male and or the female. I'm just going to read this whole past row here, past vertical column. I think the person is taking a time out, maybe a sabbatical. Maybe they have secluded or secreted themselves away so they can not reflect, because he knows damn well while he's in that prison, he knows. He's trying to figure out, really get to how did he really get to that point, okay? He knows what the consequences are, but he can't figure out what possessed him, what kind of thinking made him do whatever it was that he did or didn't do. Huh? Interesting. The three cards are La Vecchia Signora. Now, the Vecchia Signora is somebody who gives advice, but it's an older person. In other words, it's somebody who's kind of maybe been there, done that, but can also be someone who's rather be objective and give you just, you know, well, look, if this is the way it went, and if this is the way you really feel, then that's. But then I have the pensiero, the meditation. So either this person is conflicted about maybe perhaps some advice that they've been given by someone. But then we have the alegria, pastime with family and friends. So I'm picking up two messages. Either the person doesn't know how this new, again, it's appearances. That's what keeps coming across. The person can't seem to reconcile the old with the new. Okay? There is a change that wants to come about, but the person can't figure out how they're going to rectify the old with the new. That's what that says. And they are conflicted about it. All right. That's what I have for you. I hope that message helped. Until next time, namaste.